This boy showed up on his mom's doorstep 15 years after going missing. This has to be one of the most twisted, strangest disappearance cases I've read up on in a while. It's just something else. Hello! If you don't know me, hi, my name is Meg and welcome to my channel. On this channel, we dive into true crime, mysteries, paranormal, and sometimes a little bit of history. Basically whatever we're interested in that week. You let me know what you want me to cover and I'll do it. I've got a real goose theme going on today. Serious goose, a goose shirt, and I got this little guy. What should we call him? Get yourself a drink in a fun cup, a good snack, and sit down because this is a good story. In order to begin this story, we have to go back to September 5th of 1982. 12-year-old Johnny Gosch was a paperboy. Every Sunday, before most people were even awake, Johnny Gosch was on his paper route, delivering papers to his neighborhood. Usually, his father John would go with him, but that one particular morning of September 5th, his father did not accompany him. He was growing up and he wanted to prove that he could handle this responsibility on his own. So at around 5:45, Johnny left home with a red wagon filled with newspapers. The paper route took about an hour and his family was expecting him for breakfast, but he never came back. Later that morning, Johnny's father got a call from one of the people who usually received the newspapers claiming that they hadn't received one, and immediately something felt off. Johnny was very dependable, so missing a part of his route was unlike him. So John, Johnny's dad, gets confusing, got in his car and went looking for his son. And a few blocks from their house, he finds the red wagon. The newspapers are still inside. And the rubber bands that they keep to bundle up the newspapers were all over the ground, but Johnny was gone. Strangely, his father decided to finish the paper route before going home. Odd choice, I would say, John. After some time passed, they grew concerned and Noreen, Johnny's mother, called the police and reported him missing. As the investigation began, they started questioning neighbors, who all reported seeing unusual activity that morning in the neighborhood. One witness, named Rossi, claimed that he saw Johnny talking to a man in a blue car. Rossi was a little bit concerned, so he asked Johnny if everything was okay. Johnny reportedly said that the man was just asking for directions, but something about it just didn't seem right to Rossi. Another witness claimed that he saw a tall man watching Johnny. Two other newspaper boys also claimed to see suspicious acting men in the neighborhood that morning. Describe suspicious looking man. Officer, I saw a suspicious man. What did he look like? Like him. That is suspicious. All of these statements individually didn't really fully match up. It didn't prove anything. It didn't really lead them anywhere. But at the same time, taken together, they painted quite a concerning picture. Johnny's disappearance quickly became national news. His smiling face was seen by all of America. Thousands of missing posters were printed. Volunteers searched in forests, abandoned buildings, fields, nothing. Every lead led to a dead end. Weeks became months and months became years. But Johnny's mother, Noreen, refused to give up on her son. As time passed, Noreen believed that the police were not doing enough. So she hired a private investigator herself. She traveled, she gave interviews, she did everything she could to keep her son in the public eye. But unfortunately, what she did not expect was that it would happen again. Almost exactly 2 years later, another paperboy vanished. This boy was 13-year-old Eugene Martin. And just like Johnny, he disappeared while doing his morning paper rounds on his own. 2 years after that, another boy goes missing. 13-year-old Mark Allen disappeared while cycling to work. He was not delivering newspapers, but because of the similarities, they were like loosely linked, but never officially linked. People still believe that there was a connection. I mean, these boys were all 12 and 13 years old. Years later, an inmate called Paul Benacki claimed he had information on some of these missing boys. And he came forward with quite an extraordinary story. He claimed that he used to be a part of a child trafficking network and that he was there when Johnny got abducted. And initially, investigators were obviously quite skeptical. Sometimes inmates will offer information for less time. One strange thing though was Paul Benacki knew details about Johnny that weren't publicly known. He knew about a horseshoe-shaped birthmark on Johnny's tongue. To Noreen, that was enough. She was convinced that he knew something and she wanted him investigating. But law enforcement didn't really take his claims seriously. They didn't think it proved that he knew anything. Even today, people debate whether or not he was telling the truth. I don't see why they didn't just look into it a little bit. Take 2 minutes, ask some questions. Though that information was quite something, the moment that changed everything happened in 1997, 15 years after Johnny went missing. According to Noreen, there was a knock on her door. When she opened the door, she was convinced that the man standing in front of her was her son. She claimed he looked healthy enough to recognize, but worn down by life. He hugged her, she invited him in, and they had a conversation. She asked him a lot of questions. His answers were very cautious. Now see, Johnny, I'm going to call him Johnny, might not be Johnny, we don't know. Johnny was not alone. He was with another man. And every time he answered a question, he looked at the man, maybe checking to see if his answer was acceptable, maybe he's scared. Johnny allegedly warned her not to contact the authorities because people would get hurt if she did. And then he left. She watched him walk away and she never saw him again. Johnny's father, John, claims that he doesn't believe that this visit ever happened. No independent evidence has ever confirmed Noreen's story, but she stood by that story for the rest of her life. And no offense, but John finished the paper round when his son went missing. You know what? I'm team Noreen. Hello. Now, remember the inmate from earlier, Paul Benacki? He comes back. In 1999, he gets involved in a civil legal proceeding connected to a businessman called Lawrence E. King. It was all about these allegations surrounding a scandal they named the Franklin scandal. Paul Benacki claimed that King was involved in a child trafficking ring, like he had said years ago. Never able to be proven. Winnie, hey, what are you doing? This King guy was charged with financial crimes, but these child trafficking allegations were never proven. So no criminal convictions were made based on those claims. That King guy was convicted of financial crimes, but nothing to do with child trafficking crimes. But because Paul Benacki stuck with this story all of these years, people really believe that there might have been something to it. As if the story couldn't become any stranger, in 2006, Noreen claimed that she got a package at her doorstep. Team Noreen! Inside were disturbing photographs of a young man being gagged and bound. And he was wearing similar clothes to what Johnny was wearing when he went missing all of those years ago. She truly believes that the man in those photos are Johnny. But investigators never confirmed the identification. Really good job. These investigators suck. What were they doing this whole time, by the way? Some believe that these images were a hoax. Someone left it on her doorstep to torment her, but who the hell? It's been way past 10 years since he went missing. Who's doing a hoax unless they were involved? Though Johnny was never found, his story, along with many others, changed the way that America handled missing children cases. Public awareness increased drastically in the 1980s. Law enforcement then began responding faster. We all know that the first 24 hours of a child missing is the most important because their chances of being alive after those 24 hours drop massively. Noreen became one of the most recognizable advocates for missing children, trying to advocate change so that other families don't need to go through what she went through. It's been over 40 years since Johnny Gosch went missing, and he still has never been found or respotted. The entire case remains unsolved. Was he abducted by a stranger? Was Paul Benacki right? Was it really Johnny who showed up at his mother's door in 1997? Or was it his mother's desperate hope after all of these years missing her son? But then again, why did the guy hug her and come in and pretend if it wasn't? All of these questions. If you have your own theory, I would love to hear them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like. If you made it this far into the video, comment Team Noreen in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you want to see. Bye!